Hey there everyone, welcome back to Self-Care Sunday. I'm standing outside on this beautiful fall day. So as we get started, we're going to listen to the sound of the bell like we usually do. I encourage you to just take a moment to pause in your day, maybe find a place to sit or lie down, or you can just stand like I am. And start to feel your breath. Last week we did soft belly breathing. If you want to place your hand on your belly, you're welcome to do that. Feeling your soft belly expand out as you breathe in and go back toward your spine as you breathe out. And just a reminder as I ring the bell, as you continue to breathe, that we are not alone in this. We're practicing together with others, even though we're not all in the same room or doing it at the same time. That this is meant to not just be self-care, but the remembrance that we are not alone and that we are creating a whole rhythm and kind of web of collective community care. So let's listen to the bell. And take just a few moments to feel your breath. I'm going to put this down. So today's practice is a special one, and it's called shaking. And this is one of the most ancient and powerful ways to release stress from your body. So I don't know if you've heard this, but most animals on the planet, they shake after a stressful experience. Their bodies do it to reset their whole mechanism. Humans are the only species that learn to suppress that instinct, and we tend to hold everything in, especially in stressful situations. But unfortunately, then those patterns of tension, fear, exhaustion, they don't get released. They don't go through their whole cycle to actually release and resolve the stress. So shaking can really move energy and can help to complete the stress cycle, telling your body and your nervous system that things are okay, I'm safe now, I can let go and move on. Shaking and dancing are what we call expressive meditations. These are spontaneous, meant to be spontaneous, body-based practices. They've been used by humans for tens of thousands of years for healing and emotional release. And when they're practiced regularly, they carry similar trauma healing benefits as other activities, like if when you feel good on a day like today and you take a brisk walk, or you do some yoga, or maybe you're a jogger, or you like cycling. That's because we're increasing the feel-good neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins in our brain and through our body. But something cool I just learned is that shaking and these sorts of exercises also improve or increase the neurons in our hippocampus, and our hippocampus helps us to learn. And it has a lot to do with our memory and what we can recall, what we remember. So that's really awesome to know that we're helping our brains in that way. We're also, the neurochemicals I mentioned help to boost our mood, help to improve sleep, help to reduce anxiety and things like depression. But I think besides those biological things, these expressive meditations, the coolest thing is like what it opens up in us. Exercises like these, or exercise in general, I should say, exercises in general tend to be more controlled and restricted and very goal-oriented, whereas spontaneous and expressive meditations like shaking and dancing, they are meant to be freeing and liberating and help us to not be so focused on goals or doing it a particular way, but just letting ourselves go so that energy can move and we can actually listen to how our bodies need and want to complete the stress cycle. So I find that it can help break up rigidity and release fear and feelings that feel kind of bound up. We know that shamans and healers around the world for decades and decades and decades have been using these things to release big emotions, to reconnect to life, to find joy, to help decrease things like depression. and they can bring us into a natural state of renewal and even transformation. So at first, it may feel really weird because it can feel really chaotic in our bodies, and awkward and maybe unnatural. But there are scientists who have looked at theories of chaos, and when systems, physical, chemical, emotional, kind of move into a level of disturbance that can feel kind of chaotic, what we found in that system is that actually there's a lot more new energy and creative things that can come out of it and can flow from it. Otherwise, our emotional and biological and even physical systems can feel really constricted. So we're going to explore and invite ourselves to explore feeling a little chaotic with the intention of creating more freedom and joy and really letting ourselves release stress. I've been doing shaking for years, but I just did a training a little over a week ago where this was one of the main practices we did. This was through the Center of Mind-Body Medicine. And so this has science backing it. Everything they do has evidence and science and research behind it. And I've found that it's been so helpful for me every single morning to wake up and shake for like 5 minutes at least. And I'm not drinking hardly any caffeine this week. And I feel so much more in my body and grounded, yet really open, and almost it's an expansive feeling, but it's also relaxed because those neurochemicals are flowing. And I'm just really loving doing it every day as part of my practice right now. So I hope that you'll try it on, even if it's just a couple minutes a day. I found a couple of songs that I really love that I think work well to encourage the kind of chaos and chaotic shaking. I don't have that music with me today, but I will put in the notes the songs that I use that I found to be most helpful, and you can give it a try. So you can also choose any music, but I find something that's instrumental, like drumming, something that has a pretty high, quick rhythm to it is very helpful. And then that can turn into another song that's more about dance and just expressing yourself to any song you like. So we are going to start. I'm going to step back a little bit. Usually when I do this, I don't have a particular pattern or way that I do it, and you don't have to do it in the way I'm going to invite you to, but if this is new to you, it might be helpful to do it as I'm guiding you, just until you get more comfortable. So it's helpful if you can have something close by to hold on to. I do not have something to hold on to, so I'm probably going to be a little unbalanced, but you can grab a chair to hold on to, a countertop, a table, a wall, a person, if they're agreeable, a tree. If I had a tree close enough, I'd hold on to a tree. But before we get to that, let's just shake one or both hands. So you can get your hands just shaking, let them flop around. They can go this way, they can go this way. You can play with little finger wiggles like that. And if you just want to do one, that's fine. So just shake it out. We do this with kids all the time, but usually we count like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's another way to do it. Then let it move up your arms and try to get your arms moving and shaking however you like, and get your shoulders involved. Sometimes I'll do one arm and just really let it hang, get up and try to get my shoulder to move around. Do both. If you know how to shimmy your shoulders, you can do that. I took dance classes years and years ago, so I learned how to shimmy my shoulders. And then this is where holding on to something can be helpful. So you might just want to let your foot shake. See if I can move back a little so you can see my foot shaking. So you just kind of wiggle it around, and then you can let it move up your whole leg and try to get your whole hip and buttock area moving, your thigh jiggling. These are good jiggles, right? After you do one side, you can do the other. Shake, 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 shake. Let it get crazy, let it feel chaotic, let it feel weird. You can move your arms and your leg at the same time if you want. Then one of my favorite things to do is to bounce a little. So you can let your heels move up and down on the ground, or you can keep your heels on the ground and just kind of bounce through your knees and hips. But when you do this, allow your shoulders to bounce. Now, if anything I'm doing, you're feeling like, I don't really want to do that right now, or that doesn't feel like where I want to go, then just shake however you like. But you'll see my arms are just kind of dangling around. I learned this in belly dancing, where I wiggle my knees, kind of shaking them one at a time, alternating them really quickly, bending and straightening one at a time, but really quickly. And then that gets the hips going. See if I can get a little shimmy going. It's harder to do it when I am videoing myself than when I'm on my own. I know nobody's watching. So I feel myself feeling just a little more tense than usual because I know other people are going to be watching this. A little self-consciousness coming in, if I'm being completely honest. You should see me in my studio. I go totally wild. So bouncing, you can let your hips move. There's a little more shimmy. You can shake your shoulders. And then I always make sure I get a little bit in my head, either just bouncing it around a little. Sometimes I do this. Only do what feels right for you, and if you need to be holding on to something, you can do that. Then I'll just go and revisit different parts. I just keep moving around my body, whatever feels good. And when you're feeling complete, and great job for even just doing a couple minutes of this, it's nice to just stand still and notice. Usually I put my hand or hands on my belly, or maybe one hand on my chest, one hand on my belly. And let my breath start to slow down naturally. I don't try to force that. I just notice that my heart's beating a little more quickly. But I do feel tingling through my body. I feel a little buzzy, a little warm. I feel more alive. I feel a little more spacious and some freedom. Just trust your body's process and know that whatever you're feeling, it is your body rebalancing, recalibrating itself. Sometimes we have emotions come up, we might get tears. See if you can let those emotions just kind of be there and float through rather than grasping onto them or judging yourself or getting really tied up or spiraling into them. Just see if you can imagine emotions are just like energy in motion, and emotions are meant to flow through, to come and go, not get stuck. And shaking can help us release emotions that sometimes feel like they get a little stuck. If it'd be helpful, take a couple of stretching breaths, but you also could move into a song or a little bit of dancing that feels good to you, or any other stretch or movement. This is, like I said, a great thing to do. Shaking's a great thing to do first thing in the morning to get you more awake, but it can also be used any time of day to let go of tension, to let go of stress, to let the stress and emotion move through. If you have too much energy, it's great to shake it out. If you don't have enough energy, it's a good way to kind of get things awakened and enlivened and get more oxygen flowing through the blood, through your circulatory system. Every time you shake, you create or you reclaim a little more of your energy and your joy and your freedom. And that's going to change how you show up in the world, and that will change the world around you. So let's just take a few more slow belly breaths. Remembering that peace and creating peace is an active process. And by learning how to regulate and take care of our own nervous systems, our own emotions, we can make an impact in our immediate lives around us, and that can ripple out into the people beyond, into our communities, and into the world. So thank you so much for shaking with me. practicing with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day or week, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time for our Self-Care Sunday. Till then, peace.